When death appears, you might find yourself at one of those threshold moments where an old way of being is asking to be released. Perhaps a relationship that's run its course, a career that no longer fits, an identity you've outgrown but still cling to from habit or fear. Sometimes this card arrives when the universe is composting aspects of your life that have served their purpose, creating rich soil for whatever wants to grow next. This card often whispers of transformations that feel beyond your control, changes initiated not by your planning, but by life's larger intelligence, which sometimes knows better than we do what needs to shift for our highest flowering. You might notice that what seemed like catastrophe from one angle reveals itself as liberation from another, that what you thought you couldn't live without, you discover you can live more authentically within. Sometimes death speaks to the relief that comes with finally letting something die. Perhaps you've been keeping relationships, projects, or parts of yourself on life support long past their natural expiration date. There's something here about the courage to stop resisting natural endings, to trust that what wants to go is making space for what wants to come. The child offering flowers reminds us that transformation doesn't require us to abandon our essential sweetness. You might find that even in the midst of profound change, your core nature remains intact, perhaps even more visible once the layers that weren't truly you have been stripped away. Sometimes the most difficult passages reveal who we really are beneath who we thought we had to be. This card frequently appears during times of identity death, when old stories about yourself no longer feel true, when roles that once defined you become too small to contain who you're becoming. The Skeleton Knight suggests that what survives these ego deaths is actually more real than what perishes, that losing false selves allows true self to emerge. The rising sun between the towers speaks to rebirth that follows naturally from release. You might discover that what felt like pure loss was actually clearing space for possibilities you couldn't have imagined while still clutching the old forms. Death often appears when you're ready to trust that life's endings and beginnings are part of the same mysterious intelligence. Sometimes this card arrives to validate the grief you're feeling, the recognition that healthy transformation includes honoring what's being lost, taking time to say goodbye to what served you well, even if it can no longer serve you now. The various figures' responses suggest that there's no right way to meet change, only the way that feels authentic to your particular heart in this particular moment. The flowing river in the distance reminds us that some current is always carrying us toward unknown shores. Perhaps this card appears when you're ready to stop swimming against that current and start floating with it, trusting that the same force that brings endings also delivers beginnings beyond anything your current perspective can envision. This card interpretation comes from my new book, where I explore all 78 cards as mirrors for the human experience. If you'd like to continue this conversation with the complete deck, you'll find it linked in the description.